installment designed for football, fantasy football, league, fantasy football podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper, the only fantasy football app made for fans by fans. This is the show where we take a look at the goings-on and details of this league, because we all know our commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host as usual, unbiased for the first time in 15 weeks, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ, how are you doing?
Unbiased?
Yeah, you're out of the running. You're out of the league.
Oh.
The two co-hosts are now true hosts.
You're right.
No skin in the game.
Yep. You're right. I will say the way I went out is I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the way I went out. You know, I had injuries with Keenan Allen and Nico Collins. And you know, it wasn't close. So it wasn't like if I started this guy, I would have won. You know, I just lost fair and square. Obviously, I wish my players performed better and I won, but at least it wasn't one of my binky losses where I lose by 0.6 because those sting the worst.
That would have hurt.
I'm okay with it. I'm, again, mainly sad that fantasy is just over. It just doesn't feel real. I said it in the group chat, but I really feel like we just drafted. This is the fastest fantasy football season I've ever had.
15 weeks so far, and we've got our special guest, one of our most common guests, still in the running. We've got Sir Binks-a-Lot. Monty, how are you doing?
It's great to be here, Ted, and like always, it's great to be a Bink. Happy to be here with you boys. You know, I know you guys both aren't in the running right now, so you guys can kind of provide some objective commentary on the whole situation. So I'm excited to hear your insights this week. I know personal bias will still be factored in, but I think there's some good analysis that can go on in these last couple of weeks. We have some interesting situations, some injuries, some key players out. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how this finishes out.
And then real quick before we start, as the reigning champion, I feel I need to say a few things. First of all, I am going to take off the jacket since I am no longer a part of it. I will be getting this dry cleaned because I have not washed it since I got it. Hanging it up.
Still the champion, man.
Safe.
You're still the champion.
No, you're still
I'm hanging it up.
It's over.
I'm hanging it up.
You're
I don't
champion, Ted.
To wear it.
Look what you did to him, Binky.
He was back-to-backer. He's the back-to-back champ. What is he doing?
I am demoralized. I don't deserve it.
Wait, and did you go back to back?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait,
and you know,
like back to back?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's even worse. That's even more incredible than I thought.
Look what you did.
You put that jacket back on. We don't have a new champ. You are champ.
There is no champ. I'm out of the running, and now I just want to say a few words to this trophy. I've had it for the past 3 years. You know, there's lessons in fantasy sometimes. This game is but a winding road, you know. So this season goes. You know, once upon a time, you were by my side. You know, I wish I could have known. I should have held on tight. You know, at every single word, you know, at every summer night, I wish I could have known. Forever was a lie, you know, but once upon a time, I was something to this league. Once upon a time, I was something to someone, you know, once upon a time, I was something to you, you know, and, you know, with that, all hope before Pete is out of question. A bit bigger than that.
Shout out Dermot Kennedy. Shout out Dermot Kennedy.
Oh, that's Dermot Kennedy.
You know, a lot of emotions.
I thought that was like green eggs and ham.
You know, but why don't we get right in the analysis now?
Dad, I'm shocked that your YouTube video stayed up because you were hanging there for a good 30 seconds straight. Like at the end of that, you were just hanging.
Yeah, it was a stressful time, that's for sure. But I hope all the people in the playoffs keep their mental health in check. But it's brutal.
Can we touch on that for a sec? That eerie pod you dropped that literally kept me up at night. What the hell was that?
you have an evil twin that was also
what was
there?
the cinematic inspiration? What was the cinematic inspiration? Was there some sort of you're a deep guy, so there was something that I was supposed to catch. What was it? Explain.
You know, some could say it's the musings of a madman at 2:30 in the morning, knowing that a pod isn't going to come out. Some might say it's a little Alfred Hitchcock-esque. Some people could say
Inception. That had some Inception.
fueled
Mixed.
by
Like Stephen
fuel.
King type shit, like
Uh,
fucking.
I want to say Asperger's, maybe.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure of that.
Asperger's. All ass, no burgers.
But you know, the people need a pod. And so I wanted to put one out there, and things just kept happening.
I feel like
I
the
don't know.
editing with that one
Spooky.
did that had to take so much longer than one of our regular pods, no? Even though the timing is only 19 minutes, but I felt like you had way more editing to do.
Well, I've gotten pretty good at editing. The thing that saved the most time was the export time, because it was only 20 minutes, which it takes a lot longer for, like, say, an hour and a half pod that we had the week prior.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But speaking of the pod, we've got our first matchup of the quarterfinals. We've got Monty beating me down 145 to 123. Monty with a huge performance by Christian McCaffrey, 3 touchdowns, 40 points. He also had Cooper Kupp, I'll say his full name, with 21 points. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 20 points. Monty dicking me down. Honestly, my team didn't look too bad, except for my top 2 picks, Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, scoring 8 points total between the two of them. Everyone else was chugging along. Jalen Waddle with 24 points had me feeling good. But, you know, my running backs let me down just like they did the whole season. It was a tough loss on my part. I was hoping DK Metcalf would go off for 40 points last night, but he let me down. RJ, how did you view this loss for me and the big one?
Yeah, you touched on everything pretty much that I had. CMC, it's unbelievable what that man has done for football, for Bink Salat's fantasy team. He is unbelievable. That being said, Hooper fuck. I mean, fuck.
Hooper fucking fuck.
That what a performance from him. You know, is Pooper fuck back, or is he just backed up? Was he just backed up, you know?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So let it spill out.
And not only that, yes, from top to bottom, Binky's team, great. Let's go to the bench real quick. Godwin, great performance on the bench, like we predicted early on in the preseason. He has JJ on his bench. The depth that Bink-Salat has is starting to show in full force and full health. You see some inconsistencies with, say, Swift, now Moss. You have JT on the bench too, coming back. James Conner, great performance against a stout run defense on the Niners.
Looked great.
It's, now Ted, we said the same thing over and over and over again on this podcast with you. It's your big name running backs not performing like big game guys. It's underwhelming all season what Barkley, Henry, and Jones, that trio of a running back, you hear those 3 guys, you think nuclear, and especially with the stud of Trey McBride, you would see championships. You would think you'd see your 4th, but just didn't have it. And with Binky's depth, I think the sky's the limit.
It's definitely looking good, looking forward, but let's stick in the past for just a little bit. RJ, let's take a look at your game. You mentioned it before.
Wait, what?
Wait, I don't get to talk about my own matchup. Oh my God!
Apologies. I'm just trying to get through it.
Bruv.
I'm just trying to get through it.
This is exactly where I was going to take this. I feel like a lot of Bink oversight. Bink's a humble guy, very humble guy, but there's just been a lot of I felt like in the last few weeks, Binky didn't get to make it on the podcast. People were like, Bink's lost 2 of his last 4. Binky's lost 5 of his last 8. I was like, are you just fucking making up numbers? Shut the fuck up. We're gonna Bink in the stretch.
But those were stats.
No. The only stats that matter are the Bink stats, and I already showed those to you. You're forgetting.
That's true.
Are you fucking serious? Wake up,
true.
guys. I've been telling you for the longest time. We're going to Bink in the stretch. We play for the long term, okay? I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I thought this was a good week. Last week we took, when we played Teddy the first time around in the last week of the regular season, I don't know, did we put up like 24 points total? It was ridiculous. I was like, my 58. Whole team is cold right now. We're going in the playoffs cold as balls. But we finally fucking heated up. And I just want to thank God for the greatest white football player of all time, Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's just doing what Christian McCaffrey was always expected to do, what we always hoped that he would do. He's kicking it into gear in clutch right when we need him. It's so on brand for the guy. Love to see that. I was honestly at half, I was kind of like, maybe save some for later. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to that point. It was a little bit overwhelming. Lamar, he put up a decent performance, pretty respectable. I am worried about his matchup next week. It's obviously going against the Niners. That defense is looking freaking incredible. So it's going to be tough moving forward. I just have some conflicts of interest. We have depth, but I'll obviously touch on that later. Let me just hit the recap right now. But Zach Moss, he could have had an incredible game. Zach Moss got those 10.8 points in the first drive, basically. The rest of the game, he obviously went out with the injury. If you guys saw what Trace Sherman and what the heck is that other running back's name?
I don't know, but that running back was
Ty Goodson?
Ty Goodson, something like that. Dude, they were eating them alive. I was just thinking the whole game, I was like, all right, at least he put up 10 points. Thank God for this. But Zach Moss could have had a career day. Yeah. But now, this is like what we talked about previously. I have a Zach Moss that just got a forearm injury, but it's not serious, the team is saying. But I have, obviously, Jonathan Taylor on my bench. He's likely to come back. His thumb is feeling better. How the fuck is that split going to work out? I'm thinking they're just going to go balls deep on Jonathan Taylor because that's kind of how they've been doing it, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you. But it's a huge risk. So I might just stay away from it entirely. We'll see.
Which you can. See, that's a benefit that not a lot of people have. You have a superstar like JT or Zach Moss right now, and it's pretty much a must play. Right. But you have that benefit with your depth.
Yeah. No, it is huge. And Pooper Fuck can now be called Cooper Cup again. But honestly, I want to keep calling him Pooper Fuck because I feel like the more I slander that fucking man, the better he performs. He must have some dad that he could never satisfy, never live up to the hype. So the more I call him Pooper Fuck, the more touchdowns he gets. So he's Pooper Fuck for the rest of time now.
I like
and Pooper the Kua. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's finally back. He had some down weeks there. I was kind of worried about the guy. But he's a dog. And, the motto for the season has been, if we put enough dogs in the kitchen, someone's got to bite. You know what I'm saying? And we have stuffed this fucking kitchen full of dogs. Some of them, just had some name equity. Some of them had injuries. We're like, are they going to come back? But we've just been hoarding dogs. It's kind of like a shelter, like someone needs to go into this and shelter these dogs. I'm like a hoarder. I'm like a hoarder. It's like an episode of Hoarders that's going horribly wrong. It's like instead of an old cat lady, you have Binks a lot with dogs in the kitchen.
Biting each other.
They're just biting each other. And it's getting ridiculous.
Someone called PETA.
Yeah, someone called PETA. Someone get PETA. Someone get Binks a lot arrested. But DeAndre Swift keeps getting cock-blocked touchdowns by the tush push. That's no new story here. 49ers defense did what they did. Honestly, I thought, DK Metcalf has been so flaming hot recently. I was like, I'm not saying anything because this guy has been red hot. Rasheed
For
Rice.
once, you weren't gonna reverse jinx.
Yeah, I've been mad superstitious lately. You called me out on that, and I'm like, hey, I got to work on my etiquette here. I can only slander people on the pod. I can't be just doing this on the side.
I
So
appreciate.
yeah, Binky's a little bit superstitious, especially going into the semis and finals here. So Ted, it was a great valiant effort. You're the reigning champion. It's an honor to be able to play you, and I'm privileged to move on here. I have nothing bad to say about your team.
Wow, keeping it respectful, keeping the slander
The
down until we
respectful
get
Bink. It's a new Bink.
keeping it down until we get into talking about his next matchup, I think. But sticking to the past, we have Kissing Cousins taking down RJ 130-88. RJ with, you could call it a pretty bad showing, and you would be right. You had what's his name? Is it Brian Hall with 2 points? Bijan, Brees Hall.
2.3, Bijan with negative 0.1.
Take it away, Lamentier.
Yeah, I mean it was god awful. But I'll go back to Monty reverse jinxing me, right? Trying to be the reverse jinx. And that was the Chargers Jets game Monday night when he won. He's like, "Oh, it's over. Good game, good game." And Kevin texted me and asked what Monty said when I said that he reverse jinxed me. And I told him, and Kevin said, "Wow, yeah, that's bad. Ha ha." Well, let's go back to Thursday night when Kevin is Snapchatting in the fantasy football group going about how Sam Laporta is currently ending his fantasy football hopes. And again, he has the defense that's playing the Jets, and they go off. And obviously, if they didn't go off, he still would have won. But I'm just saying, some things never change. That man disrespecting people in their fantasy football matchups, it's just childish. He needs to learn some respect or else I might fuck his other cousin. So
there's other cousins to fuck?
I don't know.
Schultz, watch out.
I don't know, but if there are, I will find them. Yeah. I will find them and fuck them if there are.
But really, that might be why he hasn't won. He doesn't have much etiquette to him. That's why everyone's against him. That is why Chase is always the front runner and the most well-liked person in the league. That's why he is chasing number 4.
Yeah.
Things seem to correlate when you respect your opponents, when you respect the game. That's like jinxing. That's like going up to your pitcher and saying, "Hey, you got a no-hitter going on. You got a no-hitter going on. Good luck. Good luck." You don't do that. You don't do that. Have some respect for the game. We put our blood, sweat, tears, and $200 worth of money in our bank accounts into this, and you just it's like I don't mean anything to you. It's sad. But yeah, horrible performance. Travis Etienne, honestly, he's fallen off the last 5 weeks, hasn't really done that well. Not having Nico and Keenan Allen sucked. Kenneth Walker, they finally decide to start using him again now that he's fully healthy. It's wild how good the Seahawks are when they just feed Kenneth Walker. And they really should do that more often. He was on my bench, though. And Ty Chandler was on my bench. Really should have put both of them instead of Brees Hall and Bijan, but I wasn't going to sit Bijan. Should have. But remind me, and this is a reminder for myself to rewatch this pod for draft night next year. No Jets players. Yep. And if Arthur Smith is still the head coach in Atlanta, no Falcons players. Staying away from them. And Ted, I've never thought about this drafting, but you've mentioned it a few times on the pod. Draft players on good teams. I don't care. And I think I've almost stayed away from that lately. I've been, I'd rather draft a stud on a bad team than a good player with a bunch of other good players. But I
remember you saying that was your mom.
Oh, you're frozen. Is he frozen?
Binky's a little frozen.
Binky? You wanna
Am I frozen?
Oh, there, you're back. You're back. There, what'd you say?
Am I back, guys?
Yeah.
I said I remember you saying that was your motto. Like you would rather have a stud on a bad team than like
Yeah.
a pretty like a good player, like someone considered very good or better than average, should I say, on like a good team.
Yeah. I mean,
Or,
that's
yeah. On it.
I have 2 Jets players, and then Bijan was my first overall pick. And I mean, let's go back to preseason. The Jets were supposed to be very good. Garrett Wilson was my first wide receiver taken. He was my number 1 receiver. I drafted him in the 3rd round, and it's just I shouldn't have even thought about the Jets being good. Bijan, no. I got to start looking at good teams, quality players from them, because they always seem to perform. And the bad teams are going to be bad sometimes, which means even those. Oh, Binky, you back?
Yeah, sorry, boys. You lost me on some technical difficulty, but I think they're resolved now. Binky didn't pay the bill.
He really needs to win this league. He really needs to win this league. Yeah. But yeah, some bad teams are going to have bad games, which means even those stud players are going to have bad games. So I really got to stay with. And that is, you got to remind me that next year, Ted. Thank you.
I will. And Monty, you got anything to say on this matchup against a potential future finals matchup if Kevin beats Jack?
No, I like how RJ kind of framed how this went down, because I mean, I was obviously observing from the outside. We're just getting spammed on like Thursday night by Kevin in the chat, like, oh my God, Sam Laporta, look at him ending my season. This is so sad. I can't believe RJ's already finished this game. And it's like, this is the quarterfinals. Like, I mean, you do that in week 9, that's one thing. Whatever, you end up winning on the fantasy gods bless you with some reverse jinx bullshit. But he pulls this move in the quarterfinals, and I know RJ, so I know he's fuming when he sees these fucking messages come through, because he's a big "it ain't over till the fat lady sings" guy. And I mean, Adele lost some weight, she's still singing, but it ain't over. So we've been I know that one had to be hard, especially when this completely fucking 180'd hit come Sunday. And I mean, I was expecting like Bijan with the negative 0.3 points. I mean, or 0.1 points. That's going to end basically, you saw that, and that was basically a huge bullet. Garrett Wilson didn't step up. They're having ridiculous quarterback troubles over there in New York. So I always knew, like, Jalen Hurts, he's a stud, and he always just steps up, gets a lot of points. So I knew it was going to be a tough week. James Cook. Fuck is that guy been eating lately? We were actually slandering him earlier on in the season, like, holy shit, he's the retarded younger brother of Dalvin.
Wow, that was said?
Huh?
That was said earlier in the year?
I think I remember someone saying it. I don't know. But it looks like he sucked all of the talent out of his brother Dalvin. He sucked it all up, because he's scoring touchdowns at a ridiculous clip now. Poopa na poopa. Didn't have a great showing, but I'm not complaining selfishly, And then, Debo, he's been massacring it lately. So Kevin's pretty nuclear, but he's going to be tested here. He's running with the big dogs. And I'm interested to see, how this plays out. Just speaking on the reverse jinx subject, I do have some insider detail as to a text that I received from Kevin last night. And now I kind of want your guys' interpretation on it, because I thought it was sincere and genuine. But how should I be taking this, okay? Yesterday night at 7:48 p.m., Kevin texts me, who doesn't text me a lot, texts me out of the blue, if you win next week, you will guarantee we will have a first-time champion this year. Do it for the rest of us, Monty. Heart.
I think
Why is he
he's
I'd
saying
be fucking pissed right now.
I think he's saying I don't have a chance against Chase. I have a chance against you. So win.
yeah.
So he's saying that I'm the
He-
weakest link?
100%. That's what he's saying.
Bruv. Weakest link, bro? Dude, I'm 260 right now, Kevin. What the fuck?
I had good things to say about Kevin's team too, but I can't even get into it with how I was treated. Oh, by the way, I won 2.4K UFC Saturday night. So the whole
a night that we were supposed to be in
Sam
Vegas
Laporta
together
thing.
with a night that we were supposed to be in Vegas together, gambling and drowning in Swedish models. I do remember that you made $2,000 at home when we could have been doing all of that in Vegas together.
In time.
Yeah. As good of a weekend as I had, you know, it would have been better. Vegas. Swedish models, U2, Bono, a sphere, lights, music, booze.
Models.
Maybe you would have laid more weight than just $2,000. Maybe you would have been like, oh no, not 300 in sizing. I'm putting $2,000 on this. Just imagine.
That would have been sick.
I know.
February 23rd.
February 23rd, ladies and gentlemen, it's going down.
Everyone be excited. Mark your calendars. Call your children. Tell them to stay at home. We've got to keep going. We've got the semifinal preview coming up next, and maybe a little bit more. But we've got a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
Stability never felt better. From downtown to uptown, take the scenic route. From the everyday to the unexpected, you can run through it. Adapt to stability and premium comfort. The Gel Kayano 30 shoe. Nothing feels better.
Welcome back. I want to say thank you to our sponsor, as always. As we keep going, we've got the bink here, so you all know what that binks. A little triple binky too stinky. Wham.
All right, thanks, Ted. Yeah, this week we got another episode of your favorite segment, Baby Got Bink with Sir Binks-a-Lot, where we give 3 plays of 3 different strengths. The single bet baby back bink, you lay 1 unit on this play. The discount double bink, and your favorite play of all time, the triple binky, way too stinky. And we just need to do a little look back because there's so much bink slander, like I was saying earlier. But last time I promised you all we were paying off the mortgage. And if you just followed the binky bets, you would have paid off the mortgage. It sounded like none of you did because it was glazed over in the group chat. It was just like, oh, Binky does it again. It's becoming so routine that Binky is speaking to God and sending down these plays from the heavens that people are starting to take it for granted.
And Kevin's the one that asked, but he didn't even place it.
Did he even play it?
That just shows how much he does.
$100 could have won you $1,000, Kevin. Did you play it?
That just shows how much he doesn't give a shit about you.
He wouldn't have had to sell his car.
I don't even want to hear it anymore. Okay. Follow the Binky bets. We paid off the mortgage. And this time we want the whole fucking neighborhood. Okay. The single bet baby back bink this week. We have a 3-leg money line parlay. Okay. We got Rams beating the Saints, Bengals beating the Steelers, and Texans beating the Browns.
Who beating the Steelers?
Contentious matchups here, all right?
Who's beating the Steelers?
Bengals.
Sorry? The Bengals.
Okay, love them.
So, Rams beating the Saints. Rams offensively have kicked it into a new gear. Matthew Stafford is looking great. He's slinging that pigskin as if Megatron was out there, but it's Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. He's got options. We're liking the way that the defense is looking too. Saints are a little bit shaky right now. They've had injury troubles. Their whole number one offensive unit hasn't gotten as much time together recently. So we're thinking momentum is just going to be able to drive the Rams through the fucking Saints this week. So follow that one. Bengals beating the Saints. Browning or sorry, Jake Browning, right? The quarterback. Insane right now. I mean, statistically, in like 4 games, he's thrown over 1,000 yards. It's like the first time it's happened since like 1958. They were just like stat dropping online. It's crazy what he's doing over there.
Is Browning the new Brady?
Browning might be the new Brady.
He's the new Brock Purdy.
He believes in himself.
With Bledsoe having the highest contract, gets hurt, then Brady comes in.
Yeah. I really like this guy. He knows what he's doing. He's making some great plays, has a super high football IQ, and he's got that fucking dog in him. So I think that was
swagger.
Yeah, that the good old swagger. That RJ Wagner swagger. He's talking shit to you as he's playing defense. That RJ Wagner swagger. You know what I'm saying? He's got that. Texans being the Browns. I think we're gonna get CJ Stroud back, and then like we're gonna get some offensive chemistry. That defense is so good. The Browns had a good showing this last week. They looked like they were starting to kick it into gear, but I'm thinking Old Testament God will humble them and bring them back down because they're becoming too prideful, too bashful. So follow that. Rams over Saints, Bengals over Steelers, Texans over Browns, plus 348 odds. It's going to cash. Discount double bing. All right, the discount double bink this week is called the Live by the Sword double bink because I am selfishly playing these fucking plays. Basically, rooting for this play is rooting for Binks a lot, and everyone wants to root for Binky because, I mean, come on, what's there to hate? So we got an anytime TD parlay, Cooper Kupp and Taysom Hill. Both of them in my lineup this week. It's happening in the Thursday night game, so everyone's tuning in. I typically hate these primetime games. I'm not going to lie. So I want to stick away from them. Nothing ever goes to plan. Slow game flow. If the fucking over was 55 points, only 30 are scored. It's not going to happen this fucking week. Taysom Hill, Cooper fucking Kupp. Both hitting the end zone this week, plus 425 odds. Bink with me, bink early, bink often. You guys know the deal by now. And our final play, guys.
It's an exact score, isn't it?
Guys, I swear, if you have never listened to me, if you hate Binky, if you want Binky's firstborn to die, if you don't care about me at all, listen to these words right now. All I did this morning before the pod was pray. God has been in my ear for hours. I was on my knees saying, God, why have you blessed me with such a binky life, as I do every morning, but especially today, because our triple binky too stinky is the one that's blowing the whole neighborhood. All right, so this is called the Fate Loves Irony play. We're all Indiana boys, and I love an Indiana bink. I was looking at sports books again this morning.
Pacers money line
plays the Atlanta Falcons. Guess what the fucking spread is on this one?
What is it?
1 point. We got another Fate Loves Irony play is Colts versus Falcons to go into overtime at 1,100 odds. And you're like, no, it can't happen twice. There's no way. Fate Loves Irony, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to happen. Tap into your inner Indianapolis boy and lay a fucking G on plus 1,100 odds with me this week. Grab your fucking self. Damn it. I'm so sick of you broke boys. Let's make some money. Bink early, bink often. Plus 1,100 odds.
That's pretty good. I thought you were going to say the Colts are going to win, but no, they're just
going overtime.
Whew.
It's just to go to OT. It's gonna be a dogfight. Falcons.
Those are some binks. My heart is racing. Whew. The
I can't
energy
wait-
from those.
I can't wait for some college basketball binks in Vegas.
We're gonna be binking everywhere. It's gonna be beautiful.
You know, I sent Teddy, you know how I sent you flights?
Yes.
I sent Trevor flights. He got those. I sent Jack flights.
He's driving.
Yeah, he's driving. It's 4.5 hours, and I found flights for him for $74.
Oh, too much.
And he said, well, he didn't even say that. He said by the time he gets to the airport an hour and a half early and lands and then drives from the airport to the hotel, it's going to be about the same amount of time.
I agree with Jack wholeheartedly.
You just-
100%.
No.
100%. Like, I know people that fly from Indianapolis to Chicago. Monty, I know you did it. Whatever the circumstances, I think it's silly. You're not saving any time.
That's not 4.5 hours though. That's
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah, this is an extra hour and a
Eh.
half.
I agree with Jack.
And the gas. This
I
is
stand with
$74
Jack.
round trip. $74 round trip.
Oh, it's round
The
trip.
gas itself is going to be $100. Like,
Hey, RJ, that's like half Jack's wardrobe right there, $74. You know how many pairs of shoes he can get for that?
he has
like
Lululemon
15.
shorts. Hey,
Well,
I
You should
I
play the
find
triple
great deals
binky.
on shoes. I find great deals on shoes. My most expensive shoe is $30.
Is it an Asics?
Uh-oh.
Moving on to the preview. Speaking of Asics, we have a little.
Oh, do you actually have something or?
No, I need
Oh.
you.
And as we begin the preview of week 16/semis of the 2023 ZFFFL, I must remind you of our great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL ASICS Sportsbook, ASICS Footwear. Got another poem. Oh, the tale I tell, a quirky affair, and my ASICS shoes, a wild, spicy dare, with Santa's cousin, so jolly and merry, and footwear comfy, not one bit wary. And my mother's basement, amidst tinsel and cheer, my ASICS stayed on, bringing comfort near. Oh, Santa's cousin, mischievous and bold, kept telling me to slap her ass. Quite the sight to behold. And ASICS with Santa's cousin I stroll. She even sparked a fire in my own South Pole. A festive affair, a memory so dear. In shoes and snow, a tale to endear. Get your ASICS shoes and possibly fuck Santa's cousin at asics.com/cousinfucker. Code ZFFFL at checkout.
Wow, I didn't know Asics was
That's just what I got
talking
on my
about
desk.
Santa's cousin like that.
That's just
Well,
what I got on my desk.
Speaking of cousin fucking, let's get into the first matchup with Kissing Cousins. I'm not sure how that's too related. And Get Goff My Lawn. This one is an interesting one, I think. Both teams are looking for their big guys to go nuclear. Kevin's got a Jalen Hurts on the down. Can Debo keep up what he's doing? Jack, on the other hand, Tyreek's got hurt with that ankle. A.J. Brown's been on an offense that's been sputtering. Patrick Mahomes, he's been up, he's been down. RJ, what does the sportsbook think about this one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give Kevin his recognition now because, well, as you remember, a couple weeks ago, Kevin was my dark horse to win solely because of the consistency week in and week out. His team has brung him, whatever.
Yeah, bro.
Jalen Hurts has not been great. I wonder if he has the balls to go with Brock Purdy at home, the MVP favorite. I think he still is. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get Josh Jacobs back, which will be nice. And Brian Robinson, I don't know about that. See, that's one of those, I guess, pretty good players on a yucky team. I don't know. And he has James Cook, which is huge. Travis Kelce is a mid-tier tight end one now. Like that's what he is. If you
Mhm.
watching him play, he doesn't have as much skill since he got Taylor. And then looking at Get Golf My Lawn's team, great thing he did not play last. He got the bye with Tyreek being out. Massive. His team is looking to stay healthy, be healthy. Very good team from top to bottom. The sportsbook, though, it seems to really like Kevin's team. Kevin -3.5 money line. Kevin -135. Jack -115.
Monty, what you think?
Kevin -3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ. You know what? Honestly, Binky's had his just set sight on Chase, so it's very hard for me to even dive into this matchup wholeheartedly. Because Binky doesn't like to get ahead of himself, you know. We just stay in our lane, just fucking jogging. And we're just gonna let this shit sort itself out over there. Try to keep it far over there. But I mean, you're right. Kevin's been pretty red hot lately. You know, his team's been going nuclear. But I mean, Jack has been pretty fucking good like all season. You know, he's been pretty consistent. We have shit like coming out of the gate. We were just shitting on Jack. Like, hey, what the hell? Like, what were you doing at the draft? Were you asleep? Like, you only have 2 players that can actually fucking play football. Well, apparently those 2 players have carried the man to what? How many fucking wins does he have right now? 9? I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty freaking good. That was more than I got in the regular season.
Yeah, you got 8.
I got 8. So
you helped
you unders betters.
An A6.
Yeah, congratulations. You knew Binky didn't have it in him, right? God, I love to make the people right. Anyway, so I mean, this is not going to be an easy matchup for a red hot Kevin. I think he does definitely have the firepower to get it done. This one, it's going to come down to Cheetah's health. Honestly, do you guys have insight on Cheetah's situation right now? I don't. I have nothing. No?
No idea.
I think he's listed as questionable.
He's got him in the lineup right now. If he does play, is he playing at full go? Like, is he cheetah, or is he 70% cheetah? And I understand 70% cheetah is better than Kadarius Toney and most wide receivers in the NFL. But is he Tyreek? We're running all over the place, putting up 30 points in the semifinals reek. So it's going to come up to that. Patty's been doing his thing. Kevin's ironically going to be cock blocking a lot of those points with Kelsey, but Kelsey hasn't really been the guy. I think Rashee Rice has definitely been target 1 lately. So Kelsey hasn't been Kelsey this season. So I don't know. I don't want to talk about that too much, but he could pop during late in the season. This is usually when like those teams that are those teams really start to just click and it doesn't make sense. But you're like, oh, yeah, the Chiefs did figure it out. They just figured it out. They figured out football this week, and now they're just incredible. So I could totally see that happening. Likely will happen, I'm going to be honest. So we're just seeing a lot of possibilities here. Jalen Hurts is going up against the Giants on Monday night. That, I think, has some really big point potential for Kevin. So I respect the line, and just given the question marks that I just outlined for Jack, I mean, I don't know if he intended to play CJ Stroud. He is a tough, obviously he played Patty there, but Jack's got depth, honestly. But all the depth has question marks as well. So it's going to be Kevin. We're going to take Kevin. We're just going to take him money line, I think. Like
5 of Jack's 9 players in a starting lineup right now play on Monday night.
We'll take Kevin with the points.
Or Monday.
It's either going to be a good Christmas or a bad Christmas for Jack.
I hope Jack wins. So Zay Flowers, since he was on my team, I drafted him. For him to get a ring, well, that would be special. I'd be happy for him, even though he has 2 2 of the last 3 weeks, he had 20, 17, and then last week he had 1. Little inconsistency, I don't know.
So real quick before we get back into the next matchup, I just got one. I'll be right back.
What?
It's gonna be right back.
What's he doing?
So with this matchup, we've got chasing number 4 against Sir Binks-a-Lot, and let me tell you, I am feeling the Bink. Monty with Christian McCaffrey, Justin Jefferson coming back, Cooper Kupp in his element, Chase with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. They're faltering. The Bink is going to bink, and he's binking his way through. Call me the first night in the Bink army, because I'm ready for the Bink. What does the sportsbook have to say about this Bink?
Wow. Well, me personally, I didn't do much insight into this game. I just know Binky's team is hot. Like we've talked about, it's faltered lately a little bit in the regular season, but they were built for the playoffs. And Chase, I don't know if you guys looked, but even though he didn't play last week, his team didn't perform very well. Ooh. And one big thing that I see is CD and Dak on the road. They are way better at home than on the road by a pretty fair margin. The book has this as a straight pick 'em.
Oh, the disrespect to the Bink. Disrespectful. Monty, tell us how us in the Bink army feel about that pick 'em.
I'm in the Bink army.
No!
I can't believe he's anti-Bink.
This is the sports book.
If you're not for us, you're against us, my friend.
I'm for.
Get behind or get out.
Get behind or get the fuck out, RJ.
I don't make the sports book odds. Wait, hold on. Binky minus 5.5.
There we go, baby. Is that updated books? We love it, guys. We absolutely love it. I mean, Teddy, I am absolutely floored. I love that you were joining the Bink Legion, the Bink Army.
Stand with the Bink.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I usually am pretty tapped into the NFL. I'm usually following things. I'm usually getting those updates. But right now we are just absolutely refreshing the fantasy app every 5 minutes of every day. So it is basically running through my veins. Like you were saying, like this is semifinals now, It's fucker walk time, and Binky loves to fuck. Okay. We're going to be fucking right now. There's no cardio. We're not going to be walking anywhere. It's straight up fuck time, in my humble opinion, of course. So I got Chase week 1. It was a Binky victory. We started off the season hot, as you guys know. Played Chase again in week 8. Chase got me by the hair on his chinny chin chin. We're trying to revert back to the mean. We're trying to hit that upward trajectory with Chase matchups, and we're liking the rhythm that we're hitting right now. Chase had to go, or Chase last week, like you said, RJ, was like kind of dormant. Obviously, I don't know if he's setting his lineup or whatever. He had to buy, but he put up 92 points. Okay, 92. Dak and CD, who have been fuego lately, absolutely shit the bed. And I put up 145 points, which isn't like record setting or anything, but it was a strong showing, and we have a lot of momentum. So we're hoping to continue to carry this into this week, really perform. And now that we have Bink numbers, the Binky was operating at low capacity. We now have the stamp of approval from the former champion, 3-time Mr. 3-peater, 2-heater, Teddy Lupinski. I'm feeling unbinkable right now. It's crazy. So Lamar, our quarterback situation, we got Lamar in 2, obviously. Our quarterback situation is a little bit dicey just given the matchups, right? We got Lamar going up against San Francisco, obviously one of the best defenses in the NFL. Hopefully all that edge rushing from Bosa and Chase will drive him out of the pocket and he rushes for an abnormal amount of yards. I can really easily see this happening. Fred Warner obviously is great at just clogging up the middle as they just suffocate from the outside. But the Ravens offense as a unit has just been red hot. They've been really hard to stop. They can kind of just beat you in so many different ways. The Niners are going to see a degree of variability I don't think that they've seen, and Lamar's going to have to get creative. We're not just going to be able to hand it off to the running backs and just run all over them this week. They're going to have an aerial attack. Lamar's going to have to use his feet. So it's live by the sword week, and Lamar is just going to be kind of that sword this week. And ironically, I think two of the biggest performers for me happen on Monday night, so the boys are going to be tuned in, absolutely watching that game, because it's going to be interesting to see where we are at the end of Sunday and then where this ends up, how much damage needs to be done. Looking at Chase's team, he has Brandon Ayuk playing on Monday and Devontae Adams playing on Monday as well. So it's going to be a war. I mean, but we're totally down for it, and we're excited for these matchups. I respect the fuck out of Chase. Chase is a respectful guy, but I'm going to have to respectfully disrespect the fuck out of his team to get to the championship. And Binky's ruthless. We're ruthless, Bink. Don't let the giggles fool you.
Yeah, and Chase also has the Ravens defense on Monday night. I think that's big to know. So Monday night is going to be huge. You've got Lamar and Christian McCaffrey. He's got the Ravens defense in right now.
No way he starts the Ravens defense.
He probably just forgot, but maybe he knows something that we don't.
That's true. Inside info.
He's always got it. He's always got the inside
info.
There
is that inside info.
Did you know? Wait, you said Chase beat you last time, Monty?
Yeah, in week 8.
Chase and Monty in their matchups have gone back and forth. No one has won 2 in a row since 2013.
No, really?
I completely made that up.
I was like, Chase probably has beaten me every other matchup since 2013. But this year it's the big bink. No game.
This is the first time he's played the bink 3 times in a year.
Right.
Are we in any potential? Because Monty, you've been in the championship game before, right?
Yeah, once against Trevor.
And Kevin, I know has Jack been in the championship game before?
I don't think so. I think hasn't won. He's either only won 1 playoff game or hasn't won any.
Oh, really?
I think it's something like that.
Hasn't he had an unreal record though?
He's a big regular season.
Can't perform in the stretch.
He's a regular season guy.
Maybe he'll revert to the mean. Or maybe Kevin's got his number. We'll see. It's going to be a big week. Boys got a bank, though. Boys got a bank.
And this is also Division 1 versus Division 2.
Oh, remember the first couple pods where Kyle was like Division 1 dominating, Division 2, whatever. So this will be big for that. I also haven't heard. Has anyone heard from the stat man or Trevor in a while? I hear they might be on the rocks a little bit.
Yeah, I think they blocked each other on social media, so they can't see the other one's training for the big come game because they're posting a lot on them training. Yeah,
it's gonna be big. Yeah, save the date for the come game. We don't want anyone to forget.
Save the date.
December 27th. That's when it kicks off. It's going to be big.
And sticky.
But also don't forget about those 3rd place and 5th place games. Those are going to be invigorating. But that's all we have for the preview, unless you guys have anything else. RJ, anything you want to say? Monty, anything else you want to say?
Good luck. Binks a lot.
Everyone here at the Bink Army is rooting for you. I really can't see with these sunglasses. But, as always, thank you guys for listening to Zionsville Football Fantasy League Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure to get those bets in. You can still bet, even though it's the playoffs. Even if you're still out, you can still bet. I know Trevor will. Get those bets in for the Thursday night game. Be sure to follow us on social on all major platforms at ZFFFLFF Pod. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always, fuck you.